It's time for another meal prep video, so let's meal prep healthy breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner that will get you 100 grams of protein per day.
First, I'm prepping breakfast. This time, I'm making overnight oats. I love making overnight oats because they take less than 5 minutes to prep. I just mix together oats, some chia seeds, milk. This time I'm using almond milk, but you could use any milk you like. Then I'm adding low-fat Greek yogurt, which is a great source of protein. If you also have IBS like me, be sure to use lactose-free yogurt. And then I'm adding some maple syrup for sweetness. I like to make different flavors so I don't need to eat the exact same thing for 3 days in a row. This time I'm making blueberry pie flavor, chocolate, and gingerbread. Then lastly, I'm adding some Greek yogurt on top for more protein. I also add some blueberries and raspberries for topping. Then I let the oats set in the fridge for at least 2 hours, rather overnight. Overnight oats last in the fridge for 5 days, so you can even meal prep them for the whole work week. For lunch, I'm making sheet pan eggs. This makes about 6 servings. I'm adding 18 eggs into a blender. Then I add some salt and pepper. For some extra protein, I'm adding cottage cheese. I'm not the biggest fan of the texture of cottage cheese, but in this it works very well since it's blended, so it just gives the eggs a cheesy flavor. Then I pour the mixture into a baking dish lined with parchment paper. I recommend using a baking pan so it won't be this thick and will cook quicker. Next, I'm adding some toppings. This time I'm using chopped spinach. Herbs would work well too. Then I'm adding some canned mushrooms and bell peppers. You could also add some shredded cheese on top if you like. Then I bake it at 180 Celsius degrees, 350 in Fahrenheit for about 25 to 30 minutes. I let it cool down for a while and then I cut it into pieces. I like to serve this with some bread. This time I'm using gluten-free bagels that I found in London. I wish we had those here in Finland too. Such an easy lunch idea. For snack, I'm prepping easy granola bars. First, I mix together the wet ingredients, maple syrup, and unsweetened peanut butter. You could also use almond butter or any other nut butter you like. If you're allergic to nuts, you could also use sunflower seed butter. Next, I'm adding oats and crushed almonds, but you could use any nuts you like. Next, I'm adding some raisins, but they can be replaced with dark chocolate chips. Then I add cinnamon for some flavor, and lastly, orange juice, but you could also use milk of choice. Then I press the mixture into a baking dish lined with parchment paper. Then I bake it at 180 Celsius degrees, 350 in Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes. When the bars have cooled down, I cut them into pieces and store in an airtight container. These granola bars are super chewy, moist, and delicious. For dinner, I'm prepping chicken bolognese. First, I'm frying chicken mince with garlic-infused olive oil. Then I season it with salt, pepper, some chives. If you don't have IBS, you can of course add garlic and onion to this. Then I also add some paprika spice, oregano, and a pinch of chili powder. Next, I'm adding some crushed tomatoes. Meanwhile, I'm also cooking some gluten-free pasta. This time I'm using corn chickpea pasta, which has a little bit more protein. I also add some of the pasta cooking water to the sauce. Then I let it simmer for about 10 minutes. Then I like to mix together the pasta and the sauce in a big container. This pasta is super easy to make and so tasty. And here are all the ready meals.
Those were all the meals I meal prepped today, and as always, the written recipes are in the description box. Hope you tried the recipes. Enjoy!